going to hear about actually a new form of ICO that's not based on ERC20/Ethereum. So that's an interesting one, and from someone who's actually opted to put their token sale on an alternate coin. So that's interesting. All right.
Yep, so I'm David Gobaud, one of the co-founders of Mobius, and as he mentioned, we're a Stellar token, and we just did our pre-sale on that, and I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of those, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. So one thing is Stellar is actively developing software to help make token sales on Stellar work. So for example, they're going to develop a tool that makes it easy for people to send in Ether to then buy the Stellar Network token. So they're going to have something that sort of automates that whole process. The other thing is, I'm going to talk about why you might start seeing more tokens on Stellar, and it's really for a couple of the reasons that have already been mentioned earlier tonight. So one is, it's much faster. So you can't, buy your coffee with Bitcoin, but you could with a Stellar token. The transaction speed, it'll do over 1,000 a second. So it's very fast compared to Ethereum doing something like 13 transactions a second. The other thing that came up was solidity and the security issues around solidity. So Stellar has similar smart contracting capabilities, but they're not as complete. It's not fully Turing complete. So it gives you a lot of the benefits, but it's much more secure. And it's also been in development for 3 years and is used by big financial institutions. And the third thing, it's security, speed, and the cost. So one of the major reasons that we put Mobius on the Stellar network is because what we really want to bring to the world is decentralized commerce. It is the swipe your card or something and pay with the Mobius token. And the reason we can do that, so it's not really feasible right now on Ethereum. The gas costs, they're 20, 30 cents per transaction. That's higher than credit card fees. With Stellar, it's like 1 lumen. It's literally like 0. So those are some of the reasons why I think you're going to start seeing more Stellar token sales. We basically, I think, did the first real one, the pre-sale. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Well, you still have more time to talk. Did you talk about Ripple? Oh, sorry.
Ripple.
Yeah, I don't
split from Ripple.
I know.
So the truth is, I don't know a lot about that. So I know that one of our advisors, Jed McCaleb, is actually the founder of Ripple and Stellar. And my understanding is there was some criticism around Ripple that it was centralized. My understanding is Stellar does not have the same centralization problems. So I know that was one of the criticism, and I think he fixed that in Stellar.
So a lot of people think that Stellar is just a fork of Ripple, and it was initially, like close to 6 to 12 months. But they have since rewritten Stellar from the ground up. So it's completely different.
I don't know as much about Stellar, but as far as Ripple is concerned, Ripple is not meant for consumer transactions. So if I'm understanding Stellar correctly, Stellar, it sounds like, will be meant for consumers, people like you and me, to use. Ripple is meant for bank-to-bank and even inter-country transactions. So yes, it's tradable on an exchange, but that's not what it's going to be used for. Ripple's a medium transfer for value between different banks. So if you want to go euro to dollar to rupee, you can do that on the Ripple network, and Ripple will issue a cost. It sounds like Stellar has a different use case.
So 2 things. So one, Stellar and Lightyear, so Stellar's a nonprofit. Now they started Lightyear, a company, to commercialize that technology, and they actually are, is my understanding, competing with Ripple on getting big financial institutions and banks to use them. They are not actually focusing on consumers. That's Mobius. And the second thing, exchanges. So I think one thing the SEC may do is go after exchanges. One of the other things with Stellar is it actually has a built-in exchange. You don't need Poloniex or Bittrex or any of the others. It's completely built in. They can't shut it down. There are massive reasons to go on Stellar.
Okay. I think we're almost out of time. There's one question here.
Well, he's got 5 questions.
Oh, 5 more questions?
I was going to add just talk back to that. From my conversation with Jed, the other big seed in starting Stellar was Jed's realization that Ripple's pre-mine was the most ridiculous pre-mine of all time. And every other altcoin that
Does Stellar focus on decentralization? As I've heard, Ripple does not. It's kind of just like a distributed Postgres database for like the people who are authenticating, the people that I own as a bank. Right?
So I don't know the details about Ripple. I can't speak to that.
So, one big fan, following Chuck for a while, and I also work at the White House, so I'll talk to you later about this. But with Stellar, do you see this like a platform turning into a fintech specialized, like commoditized like fintech ICOs? So that if you are in the future, you were running a fintech company, you think blockchain's the way to do it, because of course transaction costs does whatever from a e-commerce perspective. I guess you can do global transmissions, that's like 3 years old at this point. But for things we haven't even thought of yet, esports or gaming, crypto, is that what you see Stellar going? It's like a de facto, this is like the payment processor. I know you guys are working with Stripe, trying to get to
Yeah, so one for tokens that actually want to do commerce. Those are the big reasons why we picked it. Secure, fast, low cost. But beyond that, I've talked to the founder and I sort of know they actually want to get other assets on there, right? So it's on the security aspect, right? Not fully Turing complete, but really made for putting tokens, or they were really called assets because, they had in mind, I think, real estate, other stuff like that. Maybe you had a gold-backed token. They were more focused on that, and then all these other tokens, use cases came up. So then, they're now making it easy to do these other types of tokens and the token sales.
What makes it that much faster than your Bitcoin?
I don't know the technical details. It was designed, I think, with speed in mind. I mean, Jed is one of the preeminent, I would say, blockchain developer experts and entrepreneurs. He's sort of a genius, in my opinion.
Yeah, when you say it's not fully Turing complete, that makes it more secure.
Yeah. So Turing complete means you basically have a general computing platform, right, on Ethereum. You can code it like JavaScript to do, in theory, anything, but of course limited by the gas cost. That's what prevents, let's say, infinite loops, because you can't pay for that. On Stellar, you don't write code to do your smart contracts, right, but it has the features built in to limit your attack service while still being very robust and flexible.
Can you talk about the code differences between the ERC-20 and the Stellar, like in terms of productivity, or is that unrelated to the trading?
What do you have to private smart contract?
Yeah, so Stellar, you don't. So in Ethereum, the ERC-20, they're smart contracts. You're actually writing code, like JavaScript or Java. In Stellar, you don't really write any code. It's sort of built into the system, which is where you get a lot of the security benefits. So the attack surface is significantly less. And I think this is going to be a big thing where especially when they release their sort of token sale utility set that lets everyone pay with Ether and Bitcoin easily, especially given the built-in Stellar exchange, you're actually going to see a lot of future tokens on Stellar.
What trading signals are you looking for in the next coming weeks?
So I'm not focused on trading. I'm a developer. I'm focused on Mobius. I'm just saying, I think you're going to see more Stellar token sales. Keep an eye out. I think it's a really great platform for tokens.
So I think the signal is, if you see a token on Stellar, you should consider the differences and possibly invest on the strength.
And I mean, Lumens are way up.
Yeah.
They announced Mobius and then,
How is it Lighthouse make money?
Oh, Lightyear?
Lightyear.
I can't speak to Lightyear. I don't know. My understanding is they're trying to commercialize the Stellar network or code. I don't know a lot about that.
Do you feel there's any limitations for not being able to write the smart contracts and code?
I think it depends what you're doing. For us, it makes a lot of sense. If you're doing something that requires Turing completeness and more features that are built into the Stellar platform, then yes. But it really depends on what you're doing. We evaluated it, decided that Stellar We could not do commerce on Ethereum. It's not possible.
So you evaluated both. Then. So
Okay.
the smart contract or just evaluated Ethereum for Mobius?
Oh, what were the two questions?
So have you written smart contracts on Ethereum? Okay. So based on your experience, is Stellar viable for things besides ICO?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the main thing even they have in mind is the true, like, real-world asset-backed tokens. There's a lot of other uses.
Right, because it sounds like you're a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
And so having evaluated both of them, it's promising to hear your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Knowing that you've evaluated and worked on both coins.
Yeah, it was really speed, security, and cost. And yeah, I've developed smart contracts. I know Solidity. I've made tokens. Yeah, Stellar made a lot of sense.
Well, I think that's
Yay.
And Stellar was an interesting point from the other perspective of giveaway. So I'm wondering, how many people in the room actually got free Stellar